I really think the more you can have out there of like the memes and the behind the scenes stuff, much like that, having Paul Heyman in your corner on the television show, and then you have Paul Heyman in your corner behind the scenes and in the meetings, he changes the level of, we know what he can actually help pull the strings and get things done. So when you can lean into a story like this, and maybe she's going to go, yeah, I'm holding people down, and maybe you actively show her backstage with Pierce or somebody going, no, don't you think I should have that spot? It's like, I'll give her the rub. She can be there with me, but and you can have where you lean into the work. A wrestling show, which Raw is about half the time, and then you actually have the people on the show going and doing their matches with it. So I would really love to see her not just saying, all right, I am holding everybody down, because Hogan wouldn't say he's holding everybody down.
It's open. Are there for Connie?
Yeah. Can I sit in the sofa? Thank you. Thanks. Hello.
Hello.
Want to take the first one? Yes. Sorry. Don't worry. Let's just take care of this first. Good. What was your favorite thing, Nadia? I know. Was it eating ice cream from a cup? Or was it the singing and dancing? Was it playing with Claire and Archie? I don't know. Go anywhere. So Valerie, you had the pump in the bag too?
Sorry, what?
The pump in the bag?
What pump?
In with the clothes. There was a box with the pump.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The pump in the bag.
Yeah. And the bottles, all that stuff.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't remember what you put in there?
In your bag?
No, the bag I checked at home. When I checked the 3 bags, you had a box with a pump and like bottles and all kinds of stuff.
I don't know. No, I have no idea what you're talking about. That's something. Pictures of it? I want some pictures of it?
So it's a good thing Elizabeth took her jacket. It is a little chilly.
Yeah.
I don't want to dirty my hair. It's dirty in here.
I'll roll it. Close the sunroof in a minute.
Pardon?
I'll close the sunroof as well.
Oh, no. I was talking about like my bag.
Okay.
No, I'm not cold.
Okay.
Just my other daughter wanted to give me her jacket, but she didn't realize it's so chilly. No, I'm not cold, thanks.
What was the Jays game?
It was Detroit 3 and
No, how was it?
Blue Jays 2. It was good. Still enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. Detroit won?
Pardon?
Detroit won?
The third one?
Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit.
Oh, Detroit, yeah.
It was 2-0?
No, it was 3-2.
3-2?
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah. But it was a good game.
Yeah. I only watched the first inning.
It was junior day, and so there were a lot of kids. So I think because of that, most people stay till the end. Usually, like if you go to a game, a lot of people leave early.
A lot of people are staying there until the Leafs game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So they're
Oh,
going
okay.
to
That's why everyone was chanting "Go Leafs, go!" Yeah. I like to stay till the end, but.
Yeah.
I don't follow hockey, so I wouldn't know. That's what Mike does, Valerie. He just randomly just yells out, "Go Leafs, go!" It's your mic? Nadia? It's your mic? When we left, Carol said, Carol said, "Oh, am I going to the pool party tomorrow?" And I was like, "There's a pool party?"
Who did you say that to?
Carol. But he was talking about
He said, who did he say that
to me.
Oh yeah, I told you I was going.
I know.
It's not really a pool party.
I know, but that's why he kind of got me off guard. I was like, "Pool party tomorrow?" But he meant like the pool at your. But he meant the pool at Elizabeth's place. He meant the pool at Elizabeth's
Yeah,
place,
yeah.
but he said he called it a pool party, which
Yeah.
I guess it is in a way.
He's going, that's why.
Yeah. Well, you'll have fun.
You have to bring your life jacket. Because he always says you can go in the deep end. And what? Your goggles? You want to bring those? I don't think you need them. No, because you have school the next day. We're gonna go in the morning, right? You gotta bring your stuff for a shower. You shower after.
I lost my keys, Valerie.
Packed. No, you can't do that. You can totally release. Wait, do this stuff.
Not taxi.
The wedge big very nice thing.
You can't do that. You have
What?
to get the nail.
1, 2, 3.
Can't do that. You unravel.
Oh.
You unravel.
That's terrible.
No taxi.
I did it.
Come on. I was the clearing that we turn off.
Okay.
This stuff from Frank Stallone.
Yum.
Up now I got Van Halen and some other artists kind of in that.
Yum.
You can't just leave it.
You didn't get my nail. One, two.
No, it's the same thing. So you can't do that. That's no one has ever done one. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, we didn't touch.
Alright.
Where? 1, 2, 3.
Get out of here.
Wait, okay. Bow. Where? Hey, get down. Where your crown? 1, 2, 3. I win. Whee!
It's supposed to be with me.
No time to.
1, 2, 3.
Hey! You can't do that. I was so sweaty to move. No time to. 3, 2, 1. And
2, 3.
you didn't get my nail.
Oh, I did.
No, you didn't.
Hold on a moment. I got some photos.
Yeah.
Wait 1 second.
You don't want to eat it.
It's nice.
Oh, yeah, okay. Take a look. I'm not.
What happened to you here? You're so little.
I know I was crouching.
I know.
No groundhog.
Groundhog. huh?
Groundhog.
Okay. 1, 2,
No,
3.
you can't do that. It was a I didn't say 3, 2, 1 yet. No, get back here. Get back here. Come on. No, we're not done. No groundhog. Wait, go down. No groundhogging, no technique. 1, 2, 3.
No.
No, I was trying to do the countdown. 3, 2, 1.
1, 2, 3.
I didn't say 3, 2, 1. I was just... Yeah. Wait. Shake my hand. 1, 2, 3.
I got Provo now.
He's fine. We're alone as a man.
Oh, I know, but he has no food.
I don't know.
Nadia?
What am I looking at?
The picture.
What is that?
You know what?
God, Nadia. She needs to go sleep.
What is it?
It's a picture of your little goose.
What are we doing? In the picture.
You're just standing there.
Why?
You're posing.
What?
Oh, shit.
Huh?
I did something. Take your hand. Finger. Oh, I didn't high five. Yeah. We don't do the same thing. What are you saying? What words are you saying? And then,
Hey, Valerie, how old are Daniela's sons?
sorry.
How old are Daniela's boys?
I think one is in maybe like 10 and 13 or 10 and 12.
Yeah.
I think 10 and 13.
Yeah. not in high school yet. 'Cause
Yeah.
I see them like walking home together. I've seen them walking home after school. I've seen them walk. I've seen them walking home after school.
Oh, yeah. What a-
Francis and Peter used to pick them up, but now they don't.
Yeah.
They walk on their own.
You would go, okay, you want to go to another school, not just high school. Soccer game? Yeah. But that's what's good for you to try new stuff.
Valerie, remember I told you Nikki went on a pilgrimage?
On a what?
Did I tell you? Nikki went on a walking pilgrimage.
No.
Oh. With his friends.
When did he go?
He went like 2 weeks ago. No, 3 weeks ago. Before he started his new job. So it took them 10 days to go from Portugal. From Portugal to Spain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they walked the whole way. You found a job, right?
Yeah. That's good.
Pardon?
That's very good. I'm glad that he
Yeah. This is where I bought that German chocolate cake, Valerie.
Where?
Casa Dolce.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been to that one. It's nice. A nice place.
I've only just, I only, the first time when I bought the cake,
The what?
the first time was when I bought the cake.
Oh yeah.
I think someone told me that they sell it there.
I did. That's where I
Oh,
got
you?
the German chocolate one.
Oh. Oh, okay. It was really good, but it was like super rich,
Mm.
but really good.
Okay, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, have a good day. Did you open that one? Really?
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks, bye.
Bye. Try to turn flat, bitch. Meadows. I'm tired of driving now. That hurts. I'm tired. It's 4:30. That's 4. That's 4. Oh, that's 4, so It's open. My eyes are tired.
And then go backstage and go, it really should be me though, brother. And you go,
Right.
oh, okay. And then I would really love to see a little bit of just behind the scenes of I'm just the biggest bad guys in the world don't go, ha ha ha, I'm a bad guy. They go, I'm a good guy, I'm your buddy. Hey, you know what? Yeah, it's not really working out for her. Maybe it should just be me in that spot. And then the next time we'll get into her. And like that's the real inner workings of wrestling. And I've been there before too, so I get that. That would be nice to see.
And the real inner workings of wrestling is what people, kind of, they want to see these days. They gravitate to. And I would love to be able to see that play out on camera where she is actually holding people down, where if she tells, Pierce, I'll walk out. I'm the biggest woman in this company. I'm the biggest star in this company. I'll just walk out again and I'll go stay home and there's nothing you can do about it. Have her hard politic and show us holding the people down. Like last week we were talking about John Cena and how he's going to ruin wrestling. And I said to Dave, I'd like to see John just not show up for the main event against Randy in St. Louis. You want to ruin something? Let's really fucking ruin something. Now, obviously, the WWE is not going to do that, but they could have ruined it in other ways. Well, I really want to see John go out of his way to ruin, like you're suggesting with Becky. I want to see Becky really go out of her way to hold people down. I want to see her hold Lyra Valkyria down. This up-and-comer who's wrestling her ass off, who's getting over with the people. I want her to held down. You talked about Charlotte. You talked about Becky. These perceptions. Now let's see it play out in front of our eyes. Show me on TV what holding somebody down actually looks like. Show me what the politicking actually looks like. Show me Becky walking into Pierce and telling Pierce, no, I'm not doing that tonight. That doesn't work for me, brother. And if you don't change your mind, I'm going home.
Yeah. I would love to hear that. I would love to, because you have that. He's like, hey, listen, Becky, it's you and Brock tonight, and he's going over in his match, and you go, you know, I feel like there should have been a bigger build to this. I'm a big star. Taking my ball and going home. See ya. Sorry. Good luck at King of the Ring or whatever, and walks out, because that is a real story that happened, and we know sometimes that can be the case, and we know. If you know the inner workings like you do, and we're showing a show on Netflix that shows the writing and the creative side of getting to where you go to for the booking for next week, you could also tease just a little, just behind the scenes of, I'll take care of this, I got you, don't worry, what people say to each other at work, and then they go to the boss, and then you go into Pierce, but you go to Vince, or you go to Hunter, and you go, hey, listen, the kid doesn't really have it, but, you know, if you let me keep him under the wing, and you know, I win the next 2 or 3 pay-per-views in a row, and then we'll get you. It's like, how many times people in the wrestling business have heard that? And I don't just mean at Raw or WWE, like all over the world. They've seen that those workings happen where someone says they have your back, or you know the person, the biggest draw of the show, can just walk away and they can hold all the cards. And there is something special about that. And leaning into it just a little bit in one promo is a hell of a start, especially, and I don't just mean for me seeing it, like you said, the fans want to see just a little bit of the reality behind the scenes. How did people lose their shit when Edge was getting married to Lita and Matt Hardy's music hit, and I jumped up off my couch? That was a different me. I was a fan back then. I liked wrestling. I jumped up off my couch and said, oh my God, because I knew somewhat of the behind the scenes of the real story. So you can have that and apply it, especially when Hogan's got a little heat now, brother, these days. So actually leaning into that and knowing about behind the scenes stuff and knowing about in front of the camera stuff. All these different pieces can apply it, and just you just have the tiniest little, just threatening to walk out. Oh, no problem. Oh, I'm not the main event of the show. I'm leaving. Okay. I guess how's your women's division doing? I call the shots here. Okay, see ya, good luck. Well, hang on, what can we do? Because you know how many times people held up Vince that way, or said, give me the 50 grand in a briefcase, or I'm walking out, or the title's parked around the corner. Let us, those awesome stories that we tell and know of the lore that happened, let's apply it just a little bit to the backstage part of, especially the Becky's character.
In another company, I would like to see that get applied also, and that's in AEW with Mercedes. There's this thing floating out there that Mercedes has creative control in her contract. Can you imagine holding creative control over people's head, you know, in 2025, and not wanting to? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not putting that girl over, and always reminding the brass, I have creative control. You hold that over people's head, it's going to work. And you talked about the behind the scenes. Like, there are shows like LFG on now, and we're getting this Netflix show that's pulling the curtain back and showing the creative process. Just to go down a different road for a second, I know you're very open-minded and liberal in your thinking. I'm a little bit more old school. I just think, you know, the eras we grew up in and the age difference. How do you feel about we've pulled back the curtain so much, but how do you feel about a show that's now showing the creative process? Like, it was weird for me to see in the coming attractions Hunter telling Jey Uso, okay, we're getting ready to push you to the moon. We're getting ready to strap the rocket to your back. I kind of want to think that Jay did such a great job that the push just happened organic as opposed to, I've chosen you to be the guy.
And not even just for Jay, like not even for that Uso story where, yeah, of course, we wanted to say, like, you like to think that the fans have a lot of control. You like to think that, like, oh, Daniel Bryan was so over, they had to switch the main event of WrestleMania. They had to switch creative here and do these things. And yes, that adds to the lore of it. That's something that I thought happened with Jay. It's like, hey, the crowd is behind this guy. Screw it. We're switching the plans. We're gonna run with this guy and see what happens. Because I believe Hunter's seen in the past when the guys who weren't handpicked to be the guys organically got over, and Vince went halfway and then said, that's it. They're not supposed to be there. That's it. That's your shelf.
Yeah.
And so maybe it was the Jay's getting over. Holy shit, this is special. Damn it, we're leaning into one of these. And maybe that's the case. And I'm very much old school. I don't want that show on. I don't want people knowing the secrets. I love when some leak out and you can lean into them, whether they're real or not, that's fine. But if they are going the route, which they are, like you said, the LFG, you got the show, you're training people behind the scenes, you're showing how that's going, you're showing the creative process. I don't want to know things unlike the government hiding ideas from you and then 20 years later just go, yeah, sorry, it was us. What are you going to do about it? We're all dead or it's too late. I would like to see it 5 years later because, like you just said, knowing that Jay story, we helped him change creative. That's amazing. And even if that's not the story, I don't want to, I want to know the inner workings, but I don't want stuff like that to be out. I don't want any of it to be out. I want to have everybody, I don't want The Rock looking at me halfway through the movie and going, this is just a movie, right? Okay, back to the scene. I just want to go, this is Top Gun. Holy shit, this is awesome. I'm glad I'm seeing it in the theater. And then it's over and you don't go, Tom Cruise isn't really a pilot. Well, he probably is, actually. But, he isn't really an Air Force pilot who looked around. Okay, got it. I love when I can totally zone out and be lost in wrestling. And as bitter as I am and everything I've seen, I can get lost in it because I love it so much. So the more we can get lost in it and not show that, I hate it. But since they are doing the show, they are doing the LFG, they are doing behind the scenes creative, let's lean into it and use it for something.
And use it for Becky. Getting back to that Hunter moment with Jay, it's like, seeing Hunter tell Jay, I know that Jay the bloodline story is as much about Jey Uso as it is about Roman Reigns. If you really go back from day one, Jey is an integral part of that storyline. So I know that the fans being behind him is the reason he's getting the push. But I also know that Hunter heard that. Hunter is, like you talked about Vince will kill the push right in the middle of the push if it's getting over too much, and he didn't want it to get over that much. That would happen. It didn't really happen Attitude Era, but as time went on, maybe after Ruthless Aggression, maybe your time a little bit more, it was happening. I know Hunter is in tune with the crowd making all this noise about Jey Uso, and I know Hunter is making the decision to push the hell out of Jey Uso because he is getting over organically with the people, but I don't want to see that moment in time. I don't want to hear Hunter say, well, because you are getting over so much, we're pushing you to the moon. I wanted the fans to believe that it's all about them, like the Yes Movement, like Daniel Bryan, because we got behind this guy so much. Cody, I think Cody was a very honest situation. I do think they had I don't believe all the bullshit with the documentary and we decided to pivot and blah, 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 blah. No. Actually, I got to give LaGreca credit where credit is due. He really started that thing. He really did.
That's legit.
And if you don't believe that Dave LaGreca started that thing, there was no reason for The Rock to do an Instagram video where he talked about Dave LaGreca and showed video and footage from Busted Open with Dave in the pink robe throwing a fit. And then Dave throws a fit a couple of weeks ago for WrestleMania, and Rock, talks about LaGreca again. So I would love to.
You're right. LaGreca is much more important than Cody to that Cody story. You're making a great point. No, I'm just, but no, but I love that's legit. Like, he made some things happen. We don't know what exactly, but Dave made the fans can matter. And the more you think that or know that, or at least have that tiny little 1% of evidence, I love having that. I love this. Much like I said at the start of the show when I was talking about those ECW guys. All you guys, I was rooting for these guys. Like, these guys don't have the backing. These guys are on their own, going for the guts, trying to make their TV show the coolest thing in the world. And it's like, I don't want to know that maybe Vince was sending checks, maybe just to Paul, but I don't want to know any of that stuff. 20 years later, okay, Pumping Iron, it was my favorite movie. Arnold was the biggest heel in the world. And then they did like this 20-year anniversary and said, oh, we're all working. We made me a bad guy. I'm like, I don't want to know that. I loved it. I loved that he was the heel to poor little, sweet little Lou Ferrigno.
Poor little, sweet little Lou Ferrigno. All right. On that one, we'll take another break. We got much more to cover from Monday Night Raw. A lot of great wrestling on the show last night. A strong women's main event tag match to close out on the show. If you want to get in on any of the conversation with me and Nick this morning, 877-344-4893, 877-344-4893. Mark Henry will be joining us a little bit later on the show. We're going to dive into Backlash, talk about the Pat McAfee match against Gunther, talk about the main event of...
Off in the Toronto zone, controlled by the Panthers. They carry down around back of the net. Cut off there by Benoit, who got it to the line, but not out. A long Marchand shot goes off a stick into the corner. Back of the net, Carlo tried to reverse it. It comes free to Lorenz, and Lorenz outlets ahead for Benoit. Benoit will roll it towards the net, handling it for the first time in the game.
Like, Mark, that's Metallica. He goes, I can't drive to this music. This would make you drive too fast.
Onto it there with Yarncrook tying up his man. Cleared off onto the left wing side and brought to center ice now by Kachuk, who sends it down into the Leaf end. Leafs are back in their own zone. McCabe to Tanev. Tanev flipping it to the line. Kicked away there at the blue line. Knocked back on the far side by Pacioretty. His effort to get it deep didn't get far enough, and it's brought back into the Toronto zone now by A.J. Greer. Now back to the point, a shot that goes off a leg. Pacioretty swiping at it to get it out, and it gets ahead to Domi, but he can't get it over the line. Brought back, and Domi steals it right back. But he gives it away as he tried to send it into the corner. Played back out in center for Greer. Greer will send it down into the Leaf zone. Slowed up by Wall. Played into the corner for Morgan Riley. But his feed for Domi didn't work, and now here's a pass in front of the net. And standing on it was Sam Reinhart. Barkov playing it around back of the goal now for Rodriguez, who's back into the lineup. And a point shot is deflected wide of the Leaf goal. Barkov in the corner. Lost it. The Leafs are going to get it out in center ice, only to have it shot right back in again. Now the Panthers waiting for teammates to get onside, and the shot is blocked away by Wall. He's been the busier of the two goaltenders because nothing has been directed at Bobrovsky as yet. Benoit getting it ahead, but that struck Nyes in the back of the leg and didn't get in. It's cleared back down into the Toronto zone. Oliver Ekman-Larsson playing it around back of the net. Benoit played it up along the boards, chopped out at center ice, but there's Florida with it again. Here's Bennett sending it back into the Toronto zone, trying to get their forecheck game going as it comes into the slot for Seth Jones on his backhand. Curls to the forehand. To the point, it comes down to Mikkola with a shot that's deflected wide. Mikkola with it again. Back of the net and back of the goal. Kachuk taken to the wall, and the puck comes back to the point, but it is tipped in by Florida. Around back of the Toronto goal it goes. Near side for Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe with a shot. That's deflecting. Where'd it go? Oh, onto the far side. I think it must have gone off the screen. Pass save, and a good one made by Wall. Love to know where that went. Back to the point, another shot. Deflects off the side of the goal. A centering pass comes out in front, and it's knocked away, and the Leafs are finally going to get to it and launch to center ice. They have been under siege here. Panthers into the side of the goal and around back of the net. McCabe unable to get to it, trying to come out and flick Kachuk in a shot. That was blocked. There's a rebound in front of the goal. Where's the puck? It's grabbed off by Toronto. My goodness, what a start here for the Florida Panthers. And now another turnover, and the Leafs are into the defense again as Marchand goes back to the net. Trying to get it in front, but couldn't. Puck is shot, and Wall stops that. And everybody take a breath, especially on the Leaf bench.
Well, you would figure usually it's the visiting team that has to withstand the first 5 or 6 minutes on the road in a Game 7, but this has been the other way around. The Leafs, Jake McCabe, Morgan Riley, and a few others have had blatant giveaways here early in the opening period. So maybe from a Leafs standpoint, they've got to survive themselves in the first 5 or 6 minutes to get things going. 5:27 in, the Leafs have not handled the puck in the Florida zone.
And they've not even had a shot on goal. The one that rolled in on Bobrovsky's been taken off the board. Domi will take the face-off. Lost it. It comes back to the point. Another shot in traffic is blocked by Wall. And the Leafs finally get it up on the left wing. And Riley tries to play it. Back into the Toronto zone. In along the boards now for Brandon Carlo.
Okay. Yeah, it's cold. Called an XL. You didn't need to. Yeah, I saw you called for an XL. Yeah.
I am Brazilian.
Huh?
I am Brazilian.
Oh, okay.
I speak English little.
Please use your
It's
seatbelt
okay.
for your safety.
The puck still free as it comes back to the point. Near side now for Ekblad. His shot on goal, stopped by Wall. And Joey Wall has been the story of the first 6 minutes and 33 seconds. 8 shots against him by the Florida Panthers. None by the Maple Leafs at this point. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
This segment on TSN 1050 is brought to you by Alpine Credits. Do you own your home and need a loan? Alpine Credits can help. Get approved at alpinecredits.ca.
The Canadian Superstore is calling for Central Bites. Sink your teeth into our new tasty house-inspired donair beef burgers, only $12 a pack, and made with delicious Canadian beef. Fast in the flow of real Canadian Superstore's low prices. Conditions apply. Apply for details.
How can you protect your keys? Simply attach a Warren key tag to your key ring. If you lose your keys, the finder can call the number on the back of the tag or drop them in any mailbox, and the Warren will return them to you by courier for free. Today, the key tag service is more important than ever. With the high replacement cost of keys and remote devices, Warren's key tags, they're free and they work. Order yours at warren.ca and help make a difference in the lives of amputees.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowling balls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.ca/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one. Like Groundworks Performance, the website for details. Overdrive. off the stick and up into the screen and on a play.
That's one line that looks like they're on the verge of breaking out. Joe's been at the Mars line. And that might be scratching for something positive to say in the early going. But you saw a couple of times they made plays. There was one Hobart couldn't handle. Willie Nylander got stifled right before the line, and then John Tavares on this recent chance.
Face off in the Toronto zone, won by the Maple Leafs. Laid off the boards to the line, but it doesn't clear. Lott couldn't get to it. Back around into the corner. Riley knocked his man down. The puck comes free on the near board zone. Laid back in along the wall. Riley interfered with, trying to come up into the corner after his man. Riley knocked it back along the boards and come off a stick to the point. Oh, shot goes high over top of the Leaf goal. Here's Riley after it again as it's played back into the corner. Marchand back to the point near side of Kulikov. His rolling puck is in front of the net and down the rim. Starts away with a pass. He'll play it off the board, trying to get to it himself. But couldn't get it over the line cleanly. Now it's down in the round back of the Florida net for the first time in the game. And that is 8.5 minutes in. Here's the still the puck hit by McCabe, but he couldn't get a shot away inside the blue line. Leafs have to wait for teammates to get onside. Max Domi flipping it into the left wing corner. Being interfered with there with McMahon and no call. Here the Panthers in with a shot, blocked it away by Wall. And it's run up into the screen and out of play.
Well, there's been a couple of plays in a row now that if they were looking for something, they could have called Morgan Riley trying to get to the corner from the front of the net to hold down. And now here, A.J. Greer. I mean, that's fine. If you don't want to call it, then don't call those one-handed looking penalties the other way.
Chris Brody was the one looking right at that. Sean Faber is the other referee. Kevin Berg and Johnny Murray are the line. Face off to the right. In the Toronto zone where this period has been played. Leafs playing it around the boards to the near side to Nyes. He's kept in there on a good pitch by Nicola. It's back to the net as it comes into the slot area. Back to the point of one-timer. That deflected wide of the net. Leafs trying to come away with the loose puck, and it is Matthews getting it ahead and pitched off the boards and brought out at center ice now by Marner. Marner to Matthews in on the left wing. Matthews in with the backhand, and that went wide as he was taken down. Panthers get it to the line, but not out. Nyes into the slot. Nyes is in a goal! Shot it just wide. The rebound down the boards. The Leafs still without a shot on goal as it's cleared the center. But now this crowd is into it again. Shot right back down into Florida territory. Far side for Sam Bennett. Bennett hits it out on the wing with no one there. Leafs will have possession back at their own blue line. Riley getting it ahead and off the stick of Pacioretty into the zone for Bobby McMahon. McMahon along the wall getting it along for Domi. Domi trying to start it, but it was blocked. Domi getting it back along the boards again. Domi trying to look for a man in front. Pacioretty ships it just wide of the far post. Leafs with a couple of scoring chances here. Played out at center ice by Florida. Kachuk sends it down into the left wing corner for Sam Bennett. Bennett and Carlo after it as the puck goes to back of the net. Morgan Riley taking it to safety to play it into the corner for Brandon Carlo, who got it up on the boards, but not out. And Domi got it out into the center ice area. Kulikov shoots it right back into the Toronto end. Far side for Marchand. Marchand goes around back of the net, off the skate of Riley to the near board. Marchand with it again. Gives the puck away to Morgan Riley. He's going to send it out into neutral ice. Kulikov at the Florida blue line. Gets it up on the left wing. Odd-man rush here for Florida, but Marchand had it roll off his stick. It comes back up on the near wing. Leafs trying to punch it out at center, and Willie has to break down the left wing. Nylander closes, and he shot it wide. Pass on the far side kept in by Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And around back of the net. Here's Benoit rising and shooting, and that's wide. Leafs have not hit the net with a shot yet. Down into the corner for Pontus Holmberg. Holmberg trying to free it up for Willie. Willie trying to get it out in front. Nylander kicking it free. Nylander along the boards back towards the blue line. Still with it along the line into the slot area. Rolls in front of the goal. Done by Bobrovsky. What a play by William Nylander.
Well, 4 up back on his stick. As I believe it was John Tavares, so with his back to the goal, just redirected the pass through his legs and back onto the stick of Nylander. But Nylander is sort of gone too far past the post and had to reach back before flicking it into Bobrovsky.
No score, first period. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Days can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.ca and get ready for the workday.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Firefighter Finn McHose, that's a nickname, right? Needed help contending with a blaze of death. He called Alpine Credits and a superhero was sent his way. Summoning water, she extinguished the fire and consolidated his debt into one low monthly payment. His floors may be wet, but his debt is under control. Own your home, need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Fiscal license 12616.
When you get a Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and class-leading safety included, it's like you also get a Subaru that comes with your very own golf club holder, stadium parking navigator, a basketball team transporter, a remote cottage finder, a beaver spotter, a coat home, bear country guide, a family road trip carrier, a mighty road controller, extreme wind stabilizer, plus and we're out of time. Subaru is the multi-tool that masters every unpredictable weather condition. Visit your local Subaru dealer for great lease and finance options.
Thomas Coverley in the house as he welcomes a member of the armed forces during our timeout.
He's had an overtime winner.
He's had a lot of overtime winners.
No, but I mean in the playoffs.
Yes, he has, yes.
Maybe in this building. Was it Philadelphia?
Yeah, I think so. Although Harry Neal said he would never take him duck hunting because he never should.
Well, they bring Brian
Draw
McCann.
one by the Leafs. Comes back to the point. Ekman Larson faked the shot. Sends it back to the net for Matthews. Matthews couldn't get it in front. Into the corner, Evan Rodriguez trying to get it up, but it's stolen back by Nine, but it comes over his stick and comes to center ice. Barkov sends it down into the corner. Ekman Larson up against the boards. Matthews pulled over his man back in the net. Puck comes up on the near wing for Nyes. He can't get it out. Puck along the boards. Matthews stole it back, and he starts it out for Marner. Marner to his defenseman now as the Leafs are changing. Benoit will wait patiently in his own zone and now go to the bench as he gives it off there to Jake McCabe. McCabe cautiously coming out of his own end with a pass ahead for Steve Lorenz, who gets by one. He's tripped up and will call again. Back to the corner, it comes back to the point. Played it along the boards and around back to the net to the near corner. It will get to the near side. And now Scotty Lutz back to the net. Tried to center. That's jammed in the front and swallowing it up finally is Bobrovsky. But two obvious penalties have not been called.
I mean, that's at least, and like I said, there was a cheap one called back the other way. In fact, even maybe a legit one called back the other way. This crowd could be going nuts. As the Leafs starting to use their legs here in Game 7 and push back a little bit. Great work by the fourth line, or fourth line.
Strong in the Florida zone to the right of Bobrovsky. Tavares takes the draw for Toronto. Wins it cleanly. Riley at the point. Plays it along the boards and in back of the net for Pontus Holmberg. Holmberg allowed to come out with the swinging stick. There's Bobrovsky. Knocks it away on a good paddle down play. And now Florida gets another center. Long shoot in there by Lundell. Will find a play. Cleared out his center ice and then slashed right back down into Toronto territory. Pontus Holmberg has it back in his own zone.
It's warm on Friday.
Clear, so they're going to blow it outside now.
We'll get warm soon.
Yeah, they're going to face off at center ice, but yeah, the Leafs have having full control of it, so having to win a face-off to get the puck back.
Domi will face off, and he waits. Bobrovsky was driving the end as it comes back to the point. Out of McCabe. McCabe with a wrist shot in traffic is still free. Knocks the next stop by Bobrovsky. It's grabbed back down by Tanev. To the point to McCabe. Back to Chris Tanev. Return to McCabe. McCabe shot in traffic deflected wide. Where's the puck? It goes back off the back of the goal. It's cleared to the line and off McCabe. Or off Tanev rather and down. I don't know about that. I think that went off Chris Tanev, don't you?
Well, there's your big break in the previous right. And a face-off back in the Florida zone. Of course, now.
Discuss this.
Yeah, this could be a center ice
Yeah, I
face-off.
believe it is. It did, and they're saying that it was, and that's the right play. That's the right call. It's the unfortunate part that the other two calls, that are also the right call, were not made.
Well, the Leafs another couple of opportunities. Still only 2 official shots on goal. So all they've done is equal what Florida did at home in Game 6. And they were held to just 2 shots on goal in the opening period. And that was while having the only 2 power plays in the period.
6:17 left in the first. No score. Matthews lost the draw. Nyes trying to get to it and chopped it high in the air. Volleyballed by Florida to center. And the Leafs will backpedal in their own zone to get it to Benoit. He had some difficulties with it. Got it back again. Now has it in his skates. Trying to play it up the middle, and he does to Marner, who saucers it ahead for Matthews. To Nyes and in over the line comes Marner. Got a man going to the front of the net. Oh, and it was a great pass intended there for Oliver Ekman-Larsson that just failed to connect. Leafs back in their own zone. For all of this pressure that Florida had to amass in the first 7 shots of the game, the Leafs have had the better scoring chances. Puck in the center ice area. Here's Bennett left middle zone. He's in a goal. Backhand stop by Bobrovsky. Oh my!
Boy, this was a great job on the back check by Luostarinen, who just gets his stick on Scotty Laughton. Now, it almost worked to Laughton's advantage, Joe. Pushed the puck to the left of Bobrovsky, but Rock wasn't able to recover to get the shot off.
No score, first period. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Lately, times have been challenging, with many people facing increased interest rates, inflation, and rising credit card debt. Everyone needs a little help from time to time, but it can be hard to ask for help when it comes to your personal finances. But you're not alone. Millions of Canadians share that feeling with you. 500,000 Canadians have found help with their debt, and so can you. With Consolidated Credit Counseling Services of Canada, they are one of the largest non-profit credit counseling organizations in the country, with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. They can help you consolidate your bills into one affordable payment, minimize your interest rates, and get you out of debt fast. No matter how much you owe, you don't need to do this alone. To get help, call 1-800-288-4991. That's 1-800-288-4991. Let Consolidated Credit get you back to a debt-free life. Call 1-800-288-4991. Call toll-free today for a free consultation. 1-800-288-4991. Ontario license number 4705786.
Hi, Rashford Eddie here. At Honda, they built the CR-V Sport just like you build a team for the playoffs. Reliable performance? It's a Honda. Versatility? You've got all-wheel drive. High IQ plays? That's Honda sensing technology. Resilience and grit? You bet. After all, it's Canadian. Make your playoff drive count. Bring home the Ontario-built CR-V Sport. Lease today with rates from 0.99% for 24 months. OEC conditions apply. Made with domestic and imported parts. See HondaOntario.com.
There's no better way to drive home than with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog. Overdrive every weekday, 4 to 7 p.m. on TSN 1050.
Face off in the Florida zone to the left. Panthers with 8 shots, the Leafs with 2, but the Leafs have had the better scoring chances, and they haven't resulted in shots. Draw, won by the Leafs. Back to the point it comes. Brendan Carlo! That struck a body, and now it's the right pass to backhand. Stuck that there. Stopped by Bobrovsky on the short side. Tkachuk gets it out at center. Here's Bennett in over the line. Bennett with a shot that goes off the stick of Carlo and up into the screen and out of play.
I do like the Leafs, though. They're doing what the Panthers did earlier in the period. You win a draw, get traffic in front, and hammer it. And right here, Bobby McMahon is still looking to break through here in the postseason. 23 games. When you go back to the end of the regular season and now for Bobby McMahon, but if he were to score, this would be the game we would love to see.
Face off to the right in the Toronto zone. Tavares wins it cleanly, and Tanev is back at the Toronto net. He's going to start up with a pass up at center. That goes off the stick, but it is corralled now by Florida. Brought back in with a wrist shot wide of the goal by Verhaeghe. Far corner now for Kachuk. Kachuk to Bennett. Bennett trying to work it back in along the boards, and Tanev got there, but then is poked into the near corner. Florida with it again, trying to come out with it as Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe with a shot that explodes off the shin pad of McCabe and goes all the way back down into Florida.
What the fuck are you doing? Checking off.
4:35 to go in a scoreless first. Brought to center ice and launched high into the Toronto zone. Brandon Carlos to the next play to the corner, but Markov has cut it off. Markov engaged there by Matthews and got it freed up for Matthew Nyes. Nyes, this fire's on a pass, and there's a chance for Rodriguez. Going to the net, a big save by Bull. Into the corner now for Reinhart. Back it goes Rodriguez, a shot. Bye-bye. Joey Wall.
Well, Leafs almost out of their own zone. Nyes couldn't get it the rest of the way, but Joe, I love the compete by Austin Matthews on Sasha Barkov to steal the puck and get it going in the right direction. Nyes, I think, was trying to chip it to open ice to go after it, but it was kept in. But it was a great battle between Matthews and Barkov.
Takes off in the Toronto zone. Lost. Taking the draw for the Maple Leafs. Lost it to Lundell. Kept in now for Klingerman back in the net. Had it tipped away by Tanev. Tanev gets it ahead, but doesn't get it out. Now finds a pass and gets it ahead, and a pass along the line. Breakaway! Stop by! Bobrovsky. What a play made by Scotty Laughton. And Steven Lorenz was in alone.
Boy, he had more time and space.
Could have gone wide.
Yeah. To take it to the net. Bobrovsky well out at the top of the crease. But we've also seen Laughton use that shot that can be pretty lethal. Remember his short-handed goal against Colorado in this building out there into the ice from well out.
Face off to the left of Bobrovsky. Domi will take the face off. Pacioretty and McMahon are with him. And the draw won by the Panthers. Cleared to the line, but kept in by Toronto. Into the corner for McMahon. McMahon one-handed to the side of the goal. That was knocked back into the corner, and Domi sending it back from whence it came. Now Domi along the near wall. Got it freed up for Bobby McMahon. To the point, it comes to Riley. D to D, far side. Long shot. No one there, although it was a valiant effort by Domi and Pacioretty to try to get to the front of the net before the shot from Brandon Carlo came. But Carlo had to get it away in a hurry as he was fresh.
Max Domi, when he was with Carolina, Joe, had 2 goals in a Game 7 win. You see, he looks like he's engaged, doesn't he? I thought he was very good in Game 6. And the secondary assist on the insurance goal by Max Pacioretty in the third period.
Draw to the left. Matthews out there for Toronto. Wins the draw. Back to the blue line. It'll come to McCabe. McCabe sends it towards the net, but it's off the stick of Sam Reinhart. And ramping up into the screen and out of play with 3:28 to go. Here in period number 1. No score. Game 7.
Gonna go. Go for it. Run.
Up in the goal department now, 7-6.
So you could be like a chicken and meat.
I don't know whether the Leafs had to survive the Panthers in the early going or survive themselves.
Draw to the right of Bobrovsky. Matthews lost the face-off. Marner unable to get to it, but Nyes partially blocks that as it comes into the point. Now, here's Matthews closing. And a wrist shot is taken off the shoulder by Bobrovsky and held.
Well, Game 7s, and they could be a microcosm of the 6 previous games that got you here, right? The ebbs and flows, the ups and downs, the pushes and the pushbacks. And we've seen the pushback for the Leafs here after being outshot 7-0. The shots are now even with 3:18 to go in the first.
Face off to the right of Bobrovsky with Tavares. Out now with Nylander and Pontus Holmberg. And the draw won by Florida. Chipped on the glass. Nylander is there. Puck comes back along the boards for Tavares. Tavares couldn't get it to his defense. And the Panthers are able to break it to center and shoot it high. That was into the screen and out of play. And so a face-off will come back out into the center ice area with 3:04 to go in the period. This is my 13th. Oh, no, wait a minute. No, my 19th. Game 7.
How many for me?
I don't do your stats. I just kind of look after my stats.
No,
But we're friends.
No
We're still
kidding.
friends.
No kidding.
We're still friends. Well, you weren't around with me in 82.
Well, I have been since 97.
Well, then how many have you got?
I don't keep track of stats like that.
No, apparently not.
No.
You rarely keep track of any stats.
You asked me that 2 and 3 times in
I
the
know.
game.
Yes, you do. Shot down into the Florida zone. Bobrovsky tucking it around back of the net. It'll find Kachuk, who gets it out at center. Carlo sends it back into the zone, and the Leafs are getting a change going. 2:36 to play in the first period, no score. Panthers deflected down into the Toronto zone. Wall missed that, but it goes to Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who gets it to Matthews. And Matthews, having difficulties with Kachuk, is able to take it away from him and find Benoit on the near boards. Benoit straight up ice to center. Tried to get it in over the line and did, and was knocked down by Seth Jones. I don't think that was interference. Would have hit by Matthews here, but it's turned out in center. The Leafs are going to have too many men on the ice.
Yeah, they got that one.
Yeah, they got that one right.
And they got to call it. Leafs going to the bench and a line change, and I think Chris Tanev thought, you know what? Rather than give up a breakaway from the red line in, I'm going to have to eat this one. Puck was in the Florida zone when the Leafs trying to get the change in, but it was swatted out to center in the midst of the change.
And right near the Leaf bench.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, if you're Chris Tanev, you got to make that executive decision to say, we'll take the penalty kill ahead of the breakaway.
Penalty kill brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks. Panthers are 4 of 22 on the power play in this series. And they win the faceoff. Back to the point it comes to Jones. Jones back to the blue line to Ekblad. Ekblad over on the far side. Looking for Kachuk back in the net, but a broken stick. And then a clearing attempt by the Leafs was knocked down. It's kept alive by the Panthers. Along the board, stolen. Trying to poke it free there was the Leafs, and it is knocked out fighting his man to get it out and down the ice.
Seen that a number of times from Matthews here in the first, winning those puck battles.
Period will end in about 5 seconds after this power play expires. Laid down into the zone. It's back towards the blue line, but it's going to roll to center ice. Jones goes back to organize again for Florida. Jones stick handling to the red line, now to the blue line, then crossing it back. Brought in over the line by Reinhart. Reinhart gets it into the slot for Jones to the left wing side. Unable to shoot it was Kachuk. Kachuk gets it down back to the net though. Now to Kachuk now on the far half boards. Looking in front with a pass that deflected off the stick. It comes to the near wing. Cleared around the boards to the far side. Nines can't get it. Back to the point it comes to Ekblad. Ekblad with a shot that deflects wide. Kachuk in the far corner with it again. Kachuk looking in front goes back to the net. Trying to find a man. It comes back to Barkov on the near half board. Barkov stretches things out. Passes down low. Pass back comes to Barkov again. Back to the point. One-timer coming. Stop. Rebound. Still free in front of the goal. Battling hard for the Leafs to get it back to the blue line. Another shot blasted away. And cleared by the Leafs. Big save by Joey Wall. 10 seconds left in the penalty. 15 in the period. To the line and in. Panthers into the corner. Centering pass goes wide. Rebound's going to come to center ice, and the Leafs get by the first penalty, and the period will end with nothing on the board.
And with a penalty kill on a high as this crowd on their feet. Saluting the guy being shown up at the scoreboard right now, and that's Joseph Wall. Heading off the ice into the Leaf dressing room. And Walt, nothing spectacular. But boy, in Game 7, the margin of error is so razor thin. He gave absolutely nothing to the Florida Panthers, and you tipped your cap at the other end of the ice as well, as Sergei Bobrovsky had to make the more difficult saves. The partial break, well, it was a breakaway by Lawton, but didn't get a crisp shot off. Then you had the break by Steven Lorenz. You had the save off Willie Nylander. And Bobrovsky probably, out of his 7, had the more difficult saves to make, but Joseph Wall just gives you all kinds of confidence in there.
7 shots and probably 3, maybe 4 good scoring chances that didn't result in a shot on goal.
Yeah, so I think if you're Craig Berube, we said, I don't know how much of it was Florida, how much of it was Toronto, or what the combination was. But the Leafs, it seemed like they just had to survive that first 7 or 8 minutes to be able to get their legs and get the crowd back into this, because the whole building looked really nervous for that stretch until they were able to get it going.
Not me. I was very calm, cool, and collected, I thought.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean you. I meant the other 19,000 people that are in here.
Good. Okay. Well, that's good.
I didn't mean to exclude you.
I don't like to be included in such frivolous things like that.
Oh,
thank you. All right.
This doesn't
We'll ship it off to Jim Caddy and Anthony Stewart. No score, first period, Game 7. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
There's nothing here.
Hello, 241
That's
Pizza.
all tiny.
Hi, I know
And I
I should
don't
be
like
buying
tiny.
Canadian, but right now I have a craving for pizza.
You came to the right place. 241 Pizza is Canadian owned and operated using the freshest ingredients from local suppliers.
Great! How much for a large 2-topping pizza?
Right now, just 12 loonies and 99 cents.
241 Pizza really is Canadian.
100%, eh?
I'm standing for Canada. Hi, this is Haley Wickenheiser, and I'm proud to be representing my country again. Every time I go shopping, let's support Canadian companies and buy products made in Canada. You'll be protecting Canadian jobs and Canadian business, kind of like standing on a podium while they play our anthem. Shop as if your country depends on it, because it does. Keep your money in Canada, for Canada.
Get in and go to Maple Toyota, home of the 2025 Toyota Tundra. When you need a truck with the power to accomplish any task, go where adventure takes you with the 2025 Tacoma midsize truck, the most powerful, capable, and connected Tacoma ever. Both Tundra and Tacoma available in hybrid models. Visit the showroom for a test drive today. It's time to Toyota at Maple Toyota, near Canada's Wonderland in the Maple Auto Mall. Visit mapletoyota.com. Part of the Zankin Auto Group.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp now for free information on how to get started today. InventHelp provides invention services that help everyday inventors get started with their idea. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. Our services include professional materials needed to showcase your invention, and 3D animation and prototype modeling that help you demonstrate your idea. Get down to the details of your idea with a technical drawing. The InventHelp Data Bank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Take advantage of the opportunity to get started today.
Oh, 1-800-353-6013. That's 1-800-353-6013. Again, 1-800-353-6013.
Lately, times have been challenging, with many people facing increased interest rates, inflation, and rising credit card debt. Everyone needs a little help from time to time, but it can be hard to ask for help when it comes to your personal finances. But you're not alone. Millions of Canadians share that feeling with you. 500,000 Canadians have found help with their debt, and so can you with Consolidated Credit Counseling Services of Canada. They are one of the largest non-profit credit counseling organizations in the country with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. They can help you consolidate your bills into one affordable payment, minimize your interest rates, and get you out of debt fast. No matter how much you owe, you don't need to do this alone. To get help, call 1-800-318-1940. That's 1-800-318-1940. Let Consolidated Credit get you back to a debt-free life. Call 1-800-318-1940. Call toll-free today for a free consultation. 1-800-318-1940. Ontario license number 4705786.
TSN 1050. Listen anywhere. Stream your favorite shows in your car. Available on Apple CarPlay via the iHeartRadio app. TSN 1050. Everywhere you want it. Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey is on. TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
And it is scoreless after 20 minutes of play. Game 7, TSN After 20, brought to you by Subaru. Hurry to the all-in-one event for great offers and experience all the features that come standard in a Subaru. Jim Taddy and former NHLer Anthony Stewart with you, live from Scotiabank Arena. Scoreless, and that's some sort of a moral victory considering the barrage of shot attempts in the first 6.5 minutes and a penalty kill.
Yeah, perfect way in describing it. The pendulum swung one way and then back the other way as Toronto sort of came out a little bit flat, stuck in neutral as they were pretty much hemmed in their zone for the first 10 minutes of the period. Great job by Joseph Woll. They had the first it was 8 shots, but dropped back down to 6. They found a way to weather the storm before now going back on the offensive end, getting some opportunities. You saw Lawton with the breakaway. You saw Lorenz with the breakaway near the end there. So it was a pretty good counter punch by the Toronto Maple Leafs as they sort of evened it out. I think before the penalty, the power play there for Florida,
don't really fill me out.
maybe only had 1 shot in that second half of that first period. So not the ideal start, but they found a way to get momentum back into their side. They lost it obviously with the too many men call, but going in 0-0 with the energy and the momentum going into the second, they have to ride that wave and find a way to get the game's first goal.
Yeah, in a way, when we describe the first period, it is the series. Florida would hem the Leafs in for minutes at a time, and they certainly did at the start of this game. I had the shot attempts at 21-0. I know they may have audited a couple out, but the Leafs had nothing in 6.5 minutes and finally chipped away at that. And the other thing is the Leafs, as you say, with Lorenz and Lott, even Nylander had an opportunity. They get in behind the Panthers, don't they?
Yeah, they do a good job sort of sneaking in behind them. They're doing a lot of stretch zone passes and advancing the puck and sort of chipping it into speed. So great job by that. Bobrovsky, finished this period pretty strong for sitting around for the first 7.5, 8 minutes, but they were getting their opportunities. Marner almost found OEL backdoor. Pacioretty was in the slot on a bit of a scramble play too, so sort of back and forth. I probably have the scoring chances close to even. My one concern on the on the Toronto Leaf front, 15 block shots in the first 20 minutes. Like, they're on pace now for 45, and why I'm worried about that is because as you're blocking too many, as the game gets a little bit longer and a little bit tighter, you now sort of tend to maybe get out of the way because they've taken too many chunks out of you. But not the ideal start, but they found a way to respond. That 2-minute penalty killed a little bit of momentum. But if I'm Craig Berube, I'm saying, you know what? Wasn't our best start, but we found a way to sort of get that counter punch and get back into the game. Let's keep this momentum and ride into the first half of the second period.
Yeah, I mean, if you're blocking 15 shots in 20 minutes, you're spending a lot of time in your own zone.
Yeah, but again, it's, I call it the puck possession procession where, Florida, they did have some opportunities, but a lot of it was from the outside. A lot of the shots were sort of that, 40-foot jumper here and shooting for sticks or redirects, but Woll's doing a good job in finding those pucks. The defense have done a great job in boxing out, and there's no real second or third opportunities. I think Toronto has the edges in those second and third scrambles, so they're doing a good job protecting that interior that Berube puts so much emphasis on with his system. But anyway, you dice it. You don't want to be getting stuck in your end. I think it starts with the breakouts. The neutral zone was a little bit sloppy. They weren't advancing the puck past the blue line, let alone the tops of the circles, getting it on the forecheck. They weren't skating as much as they make the pass from the defense to the winger. The puck carrier would sort of just be flaring to the side, going east-west as opposed to north-south. So a little bit more north-south hockey, advancing the puck, and ultimately getting more shots on Bobrovsky.
So let's talk about the whistle. Clearly the penalty was justified. It was too many men on the ice. They got caught in a turnover situation as they were in mid-change, and Tanev swallowed the puck wisely, so instead of giving it up and creating a breakaway. But that's the only penalty you're going to see. It was blatant. The other stuff, there's a lot of false fouling or tripping, whatever, that's not going to get called.
Well, if you're going to turn your blind eye to the jaywalking, you might as well turn your blind eye to that. I think they could have easily called 2 or 3 on the Florida Panthers. You saw Greer on McMahon. That's an easy hold, but I understand what they're doing. They're trying to let the guys play and not have it being decided by power plays and penalty kills. But they got caught on a bad change, but Tanev, as he said, he's probably, you know what, it's probably going to be a breakaway. I'm going to break it off. We'll take our chances on the penalty kill. So not ideal, but at least, you know, it's going to, hopefully it's going to be consistent and not be ticky-tacking. And through 20 minutes, you know what, I don't mind it.
No, so, you know, got the sample size of 20 minutes. What do you expect? How do you expect the second period to start?
Well, it starts with a kill, obviously, right? They got the penalty kill, but I think for them now, they want to keep that ice tilted, getting it on the forecheck, but you got to capitalize. You got that breakaway. You can't, you got to score one eventually, right?
Well, it just seems like they're like a half beat off on the breakaway, right?
Yeah, right. But again, it's the nerves, it's the moment. It is very, very big, right? But we talked about, you know, guys that are looking to be that unsung heroes. And I mentioned the Lorenzes, I mentioned the Laughtons. You know, the team is sort of in Florida isolating and really keying in on the top 2 lines. If you're going to get those opportunities, you got to make the most of it.
We're going to call that guy the next statue.
Bronze, what's below bronze there? 4th place, whatever material that is.
Nickel's big around here. So, yeah.